Our perfect world is one where every elected official and every business leader puts climate action as their main lens in going after serving the public and making money. Because you can serve the public and make a lot of money by attending to climate. And so it's a call out to everyone to make sure you're at the table. That's what CLEO does. We make room at the table for the elected officials, the businesses, the college professors in every discipline to come sit with us and find and share their voice.
Without your leadership at the helm of the CLEO Institute, we wouldn't be here tonight, like pebbles in a pond, out in our community, creating ripples of education, inspiring people to really think about every behavior that they participate in on a daily basis. Whether you're in a business, an organization, whatever you do, to think about that umbrella, as Karina said, which is climate and climate change. We're all going to be in it together.
I'm with CLEO because we will do better together than we can possibly do, trying to figure this out on the fly, not being able to have honest conversations about the why, because our governor's not a scientist. We cannot be impeded by that. And so we cannot let partisan politics possibly stand in the way of progress. So that's why I'm with CLEO.
Let them know why their company should be caring about, or why them as an elected official should be serving the public better and taking actions that address climate change. So that's our first program. Second one is climate leadership trainings. If you don't have time to come hang out with us, because we're pretty amazing, for 2 days, for 2 whole days, and you know, take a graduate level course in climate change science, then how about you come with us for 6 to 7 hours, that once we understand the message, we spread the message. What is climate change all about? What is some of the regional planning and some of the solutions that are out there? And then also a little bit about how you can communicate to others about it.
I'm definitely on the opposite end of the spectrum from Karina. I am not a scientist at all. I studied journalism, and I worked as a journalist before I came to CLEO. Climate change is the environmental issue and one of the humanitarian issues of our generation, and that it's really important that while my science knowledge is growing, that I help other people's science knowledge grow at the same time. And we always have like a scale that we do. Where are you on your climate science scale? Where are you on your engagement scale? And while my science scale is growing every day, I'm still not an expert, but my engagement scale is like through the roof now because of CLEO, and I think that's one of the most important parts. So
the very, very poor and the most vulnerable in our community also have a role. When they look at me and said, "What can I do?" I said, "Honey, you can vote. But you could pick up a phone and you could call your elected official."
Yeah, the business of climate change is the issue of this century. It's not one of the issues, it's the issue. The short story is we have to make the elected officials more afraid of the voters than they are of losing their big money donors. That's the deal. And there were 162 countries around the world where citizens' climate marches took place. And so if you added them all up, I'm sure there's over 1 million people, but having them all in one place as a critical mass is a big deal. They had an Occupy Wall Street a march, and essentially they pushed an enormous ball down the street called a carbon bubble. We have to leave 80% of that stuff in the ground if we're going to have any shot at all at climate change.
And it's amazing how good you feel when you're with 400,000 friends who have signs that say things like, "Keep it in the ground." And one with a big map of the United States that says, "Wake up, people." I mean, there's signs that are just getting at it and getting at my heart.
Thank you, CLEO, for giving us the opportunities to express our passion for the environment and the climate. Thank you, CLEO, for making climate leaders out of us. And thank you, CLEO, for introducing us to the truth that we can make a difference, and we will make a difference.
Well, what inspires me to be a donor? Why be a donor at all? It's a way of our saying thank you. Well, why CLEO then? CLEO as an institute accomplishes so much more than the people who are there supporting them. They've become the go-to organization in Southeast Florida if you want to learn about climate change, if you want your staff to understand why it's important to actually put into action that which the higher-ups have declared to be important, the staff needs training as well. The only thing that I see that restrains CLEO from doing more is funding. I encourage each of you, and probably many of you are already donors and understand much of what I've said, please communicate that to your friends, to your families. This is a topic which is the responsibility of all of us to get climate change policy right, to enact provisions, to elect officials that understand this, and to support the educational efforts, because without that, the rest of it doesn't occur.
And please join me in welcoming 18 new CLEO Leadership Circle inductees today. Frank Kaplan, Mitchell Chester, Ed Friedman, Dr. Mary Beth Gidley, Nicole Hernandez-Hammer, Dr. Brian House, who could not be here, Sarah Lynn Hudgens, Dr. Ben Kurtman, Dr. Julie Lambert, John Tuhi Morales, David Nadeau, Hunter Nash, Dr. Jayantha Obesekira, Luis Rodriguez, Dr. Patty Valois, Albert Slap, Forbes Tompkins, Dr. Brian Soden,
to all the inductees and everything that you do. The other thing I wanted to do is really thank Caroline, a true ally, a catalyst for change for the Earth, Mother Earth, and the people of this world. I mean, she's already gotten a seat in Washington and has their ear, and so she's really done, amazing, amazing things. Everybody here has a network. Each one of you has an impact within your networks, and I would just encourage you to keep on spreading the word, get people involved, tell them about CLEO, bring them to these events, and we'll make it happen. Finally, I want to promote the CLEO Society, which is a donation of $100 or more. This is going to be a very interesting organization or group within the CLEO organization, and we'll have nice social events, and it's really to spread the word around a social atmosphere and environment. Thank you.